Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of the funny things we haven't really covered is the fact that the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc. hasn't really said too much. I mean, he made like one post on Twitter, but now he's coming out of the woodwork because I guess Kim Belair, the other co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., was getting all of the hatred online. So, of course, this man who is surrounded by ultra-diverse people in an ultra-progressive setting needs to come out and virtue signal any chance he gets now, because if he doesn't, he's going to be deemed as the quiet white man that is perfectly fine with the way things are going right now. So we have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, Sweet Baby Inc. co-founder David Bedard cries victim and claims that the company is a target of far-right harassment campaign after bullying Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo. Now, we know this is to be a fact because, listen, they love to constantly, and I mean constantly, tie everything to the alt-right. Everything for them, if somebody disagrees with these people, if somebody disagrees with their mindset, if somebody disagrees with their ideology, if somebody disagrees with the clothing that they're wearing for the day, that automatically makes them an alt-right troll. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says Sweet Baby Inc. co-founder David Bedard took to LinkedIn, where he painted himself and his company as victims after multiple Sweet Baby Inc. employees, as well as his co-founder Kim Belair, engaged in a cancel campaign against Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo. Now, this is the part that a lot of mainstream media gaming outlets like Kotaku, for example, or IGN, for example, they are purposely omitting this information from the articles that they write because they know if they actually were truthful, that a lot of people would not be agreeing with what's happening to Cabrutus Rambo. They're going to be obviously siding with Cabrutus instead of trying to go against him. Now, we all know that their ultimate goal, all of these gaming urinalists, what their goal is to try to spin the narrative. They're trying to spin the narrative towards gamers and making gamers be the bad guys in the situation. But we all know these consulting firms, they're the ones that do this stuff. They're the ones that openly attack gamers. Quite often, they're the ones that advocate for attacking gamers. They're the ones that advocate for ruining what gamers love. They are the bruns. They are the problem. The gaming industry themselves are the problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just the consulting firms. The gaming industry as a whole has been co-opted over the last 10 plus years and is rotten to the core. This gaming industry is rotten to the core. Now, I do want to say one thing, though, before we continue the article. There is different things that are happening that leads me to believe that, yes, there are people on the inside that are fighting against this nonsense. They just can't openly speak out about it because they're surrounded by progressive lunatics. These people are the ones that leak the videos online that we get to see. The ones that are fighting on the inside are the ones who leak the conference calls. They're the ones who link the Zoom calls. They're the ones who link all of that stuff. They leak it because that's their way of fighting back from the inside. So you guys got to remember, there is still people inside the gaming scene, inside the gaming industry that are trying to actively fight against this nonsense, and it's not just us. But yes, they do have more control, or I should say the majority control over the mainstream media of gaming. So it says Bedard played the victim on LinkedIn, where he posted, for the past 4 months, my company, Sweet Baby Inc., has been targeted by a far-right harassment campaign and conspiracy theory. He continued, this is a tough situation for me, my co-founder Kim Belair, our entire team, and our collaborators. More than the frustrations caused by the harassment and the precautions we're putting in place as a result of that, the toughness comes from the fact that this entire campaign is based on misinformation. Misinformation so wild and left field, or right field, I guess, that it's impossible to even engage with it or to combat it. Well, no, don't even try that. Don't even try that. It's impossible for you to combat because you know there's no truth to your statements. That's the reason why you deem it impossible, but you're trying to hide it under the fact, oh, it's just too much. There's too much going on. I can't fight against it. No, you can easily fight against it if what gamers are saying are not true. But the problem is, you know for a fact that what gamers are saying are true. You know what we're saying is true, and you can't combat it. So you want to make it into this victim mentality thing where you're going to try to get people to feel sorry for you. You're going to try to say, oh, it's a harassment campaign against my company. My company is being openly attacked right now. Please save us, mainstream gaming. You got to speak out against these evil gamers That's what they're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. Then he referenced a Kotaku article, which again, you already know about that Kotaku article from Alyssa Mercante. Complete, absolute nonsense. It says riddled with information and lies written by Alyssa Mercante that he links at the conclusion of his post. So we spoke with press to clear things up about exactly what we do and how we do it. Adding our voices to this conversation felt necessary, but what is happening to us is something that has happened before in this industry and will happen again. It happens to not just us, but also to countless other devs, players, journalists, and creators. Well, that's because the other devs, other players that you say are players and not really players, journalists and creators, all of you are on the same side. Every single one of you are on the side of people like Zoe Quinn, for example, where you're openly okay with murdering someone with lies and taking their money to fund your DEI initiatives. That way you can create an entire space within gaming that's completely focused on absolute bullshit and anything to do with gaming. That's just the truth of it, ladies and gentlemen. These people advocate for stuff like this. They're perfectly fine with blood money. They don't care about getting their hands dirty, but they're the first ones to claim victim when all of a sudden people call out their BS and they're starting to get noticed in the public eye. They like to work in the shadows. I say this all the time. He continued, everyone who has reached out to me with kind words of support has also asked me what they could do to help, and it took me a while to find an answer to this question, but I think I finally know. Next, he asserted, this is what you can do to help. Check in on your marginalized colleagues. Here we go with the virtue signaling nonsense. See what I mean? This kind of shit right here, this is the stuff that people call out the bullshit. We know this is bullshit. We know you are not honest. We know you are not genuine about this. You are taking an attack against you. I should say criticism against you, because it's really not an attack. We are simply calling out what you do on a day-to-day basis, and you don't like it, so you're taking it as an attack. But you're taking this opportunity to virtue signal, just like you take every other opportunity to virtue signal. Mr. Rich White Man, Mr. Oh, I just co-signed for Kim Belair because she didn't have the credit to get the company on her own. That's only the reason why you're there. Otherwise, nobody else looks like you in that company, right? So you don't care. According to you, that's not the right thing. You need to have everybody look like yourselves, you know? So then it says, this is what you can do to help. Check in on your marginalized colleagues and friends in this industry. Make sure they're okay. Let them know that they are loved and that they are appreciated, that they are welcome and then they are talented. Tell them you're not going to let this kind of hate push them out of this industry. Tell them that things like this won't scare all of their community away, that they are protected and that they have a place here now more than ever. I'd be really grateful if you did that, he concluded. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we seeing? We are seeing the white savior. We are seeing the liberal white savior. This is what they love. This is what they're obsessed with. They need to feel like they're the savior of all marginalized people because they have white guilt and they have to pass it off. And they have to pass off, honestly, their racism as virtue. That's really what it is. These people think that they are well above all marginalized people. They think that marginalized people clearly can't be okay without you telling them to be okay. Like, you think marginalized people are so weak that they can't be okay without you saying the white man's here to save your day. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You really do, ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing is absolute nonsense, and I am not shocked that this white savior is deciding that he takes it upon himself to do this exact thing. Then it says Sweet Baby Inc. employees Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer attempted to cancel Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo after he created a Steam curated list for all games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on and made it clear he does not recommend them. So, ladies and gentlemen, the rest of the article we already basically went into. I don't have to continue, but obviously you guys know the truth if you watch the channel. These people decided to make a campaign against Cabrutus, who was just really asking for transparency in gaming. He decided to make this list, and they attacked him for it. They went into the page and tried to get it taken down. They tried to get Steam and Discord to take the pages down. Everything they did failed, and then once all else fails, what do? They run damage control. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.